fever, you have brain swelling, and then you are unable to be threatened. You are unable to become upset. You're unable to have stress. This is biological conversion from the humans we've been for millions of years in our development into something new. They're not just re-engineering salmon to be twice as big, and the major studies that universities have done show that it will extinct natural salmon in the wild. And the salmon has had insect genes added. It's a chimera cross-species cross-clone. They're not just putting different genes of animals and plants into corn or into cotton seeds. This is humanity being taken over by a scientific dictatorship, a medical tyranny. And they're doing this so you can't mount a defense against the next wave of dehumanization that will be hard kill weapons that just kill you outright. We have clear evidence that RNA strains, very similar to these classes of re-engineering bioweapons, are being added to vaccines. The UN's been caught adding hormones to vaccines to cause an autoimmune response to the hormone, to cause sterilization of women. That's mainstream news. CBS, AP report from Asia to Latin America to Africa and Central Asia. In the last 5 years, everywhere the UN gives the polio shots or the oral polio, the children get weaponized polio and die en masse. And the articles even admit, oh, oopsie, there's a mistake. It was super polio. And so they've just been testing, killing you out in the open. Just like they're testing, Bloomberg reporting, every major insurance company, when people die or troops die, they just keep the insurance money from the widow or the family. Or Goldman Sachs steals hundreds of billions of dollars and is given even more power over the economy with this new private board. And the SEC cannot be investigated by Congress. Congress passed a law saying that. It's just all in your face. And the magnitude of this, I could hardly even sleep last night. And you're like, Alex, you've been talking about this for at least a decade. I know, but now they're having the full rollout. And they're going to give people vaccines that lobotomize them incrementally so that it's kind of a background scatter, ambient system where they just slowly increase it and then gauge if we're noticing and gauge of the medical people who are highly compartmentalized and believe they're good and don't know what these vaccines are really doing. And psychiatry, all the major journals, New York Times reporting on it, the American Psychiatric Association, the British Psychiatric Association. It's all these articles say this will replace drugs. You get one shot, you never have anxiety, you never get angry, you're not threatened. What did Scientific American and other publications, and people won't believe this, so pull it up on screen, have the headlines 2 weeks ago? Shrimp committing suicide, shrimp becoming reckless. What does it show Prozac does? It makes you reckless where you'll go shoot a whole school full of people or you'll commit suicide. It kills your inhibition and makes you where you're not threatened. They've done studies with Prozac or serotonin reuptake inhibitor users and cars. They'll just pull right out in front of you. They've had their inhibitions taken away. Sodium fluoride in all the major studies does the same thing. It's all about destroying your drive for self-preservation. Now, I want to just go over some of these articles, and I want the guys to give us a document cam shot for prisonplanet.tv viewers so that they understand that this can all be pulled up. This is not my opinion. And remember, they're promoting and they're pushing in the media the hundreds of new vaccines that are really recombinant RNA virus systems that attack the brain, and they're telling you it's cognitive enhancement. They want to make all of this mandatory. This on top of top Oxford bioethicists. They're the ones that write the codes and the ethics for the doctors. They're the ones in the last 20 years that have gotten rid of the Hippocratic Oath. They're the high priest over the medical system. Top bioethicist in the U.S., top bioethicist in England, New York Times, everybody reporting. I mean, literally, I did a search on this last night, hundreds of articles telling you, hey, your problems are solved. We're going to put lithium in the water. And then you do test of what's already being added under the name sodium fluoride. It's hundreds of chemicals, including lithium. See, we've been exposing them, and so now they're just coming out and saying, yeah, we're putting lithium in your water, and it's good. And In the next 2 hours, I shot this video last night. Rob Dew is so concerned because he's seen all the documents. He volunteered to stay up all night. He hasn't left. He won't be done for about another hour. It's going to go up on YouTube, a special video titled Media Pushes Brain-Eating Vaccines. Because that's what it is in layman's terms, and it's a catchy term that will get the word out to everybody. And then it goes over all of this. Media promoting brain-eating vaccines. Media pushing brain-eating vaccines. And it goes through all of this in a detailed, focused fashion. I'm getting chills right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a normal response to become upset and agitated. You have that genetically in your code to defend your tribe, to defend your people, to be successful. And I just look at my darling little daughters and my son, and their hearts are so full of goodness, and they're so loving, and they just have the light of creativity and the spirit of the universe in their eyes. And I think about how the globalists openly want a genetic dictatorship where they literally reprogram your brain destructively, and they're pushing this. It's worse than a science fiction nightmare movie. Imagine a science fiction movie 10, 15 years ago where a secret government corporate program to incrementally lobotomize the public to make them servile. The chemicals aren't enough. We're a resilient, powerful species, just like insects that get poisoned over and over again become resistant. We're becoming resistant, and the globalists even talk about that, how we're becoming resistant to all their poisons. So they want to irrevocably go in and attack the brain. This upsets me so bad that it's about 65 degrees in the studio. And yesterday when I started talking about this on air at the end of the show, I started sweating and turning red on air. And it's happening right now because at a primitive level, and I'm not calling for violence, but they are being violent towards us. They are attacking us with a creeping stealth kill system that's very hard to respond to because we're genetically designed to face a full frontal assault of a saber-toothed cat or a grizzly bear or a pack of wolves or another tribe of humans trying to enslave us. Everything, you know, we're based around that, and so the enemy comes at us through stealth and through incrementalism and always sells it as if it's a good thing. When you watch these doctors and psychiatrists and bioethicists on television, they can't help but smirk and start laughing. It's like when Bill Gates on TED TV a few months ago said, yeah, we've got to cut carbon footprint, and humans exhale carbon, so we've got to reduce that down. And he put the number 0 up, and everybody laughed because they're part of the little inside group laughing at the control freak nerve of power they're pressing on in their petty psyches of thinking about how they're in on the club of soft killing people. I mean, they are out in the open. And at a primitive level, at my basic core life preservation encoding, extreme violence rises up in me when I focus on this. I mean, I'm seething right now, ladies and gentlemen. And that's a normal response. And when you read these documents, this is the exact propulsion system they want to remove. I mean, how do you think I can work up here many nights till midnight? Because I've got that drive to preserve the species, and it may in the long run hurt me physically, and they talk about that's how they're altruistically going to knock this out of us, but it doesn't matter. It's for the species I'm doing this. We're going to be right back, okay? I'm going to try to go over all this. Stay with us.
David J. Smith for Newswatch Magazine. Did you know that it doesn't matter which political party occupies the White House? They have both been captured by those who are working for world government and the destruction of our Constitution. They believe that governments formed in the 18th and 19th centuries based upon constitutional rights of the people are now obsolete and need to be changed. That change will be to communism, socialism, fascism, a form of government that takes away all our rights. We'd like to help you understand why these things are happening and offer you an absolutely free 1-year subscription to Newswatch Magazine. Just call our toll-free number, 1-800-516-8736. That's 1-800-516-8736. Call now while operators are standing by to receive your call.
Originally, we the people have entrusted government to be the guardians of currency, to ensure purity, content, weights, and measures of gold and silver coins citizens would use for commerce. This reinstalled confidence after the demise of the fiat continental system, wisdom being lost with time. The government we once entrusted to protect from counterfeit has colluded with private business, creating the largest fiat counterfeiting scheme our country ever experienced. This is not only a transfer of power to an institution that is not accountable to our elected government, but has also caused the dollar to lose more than 90 cents of its original value. Now foreign governments are trying to divest themselves from this once world reserve currency. Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm offering a book that explains how the system works. Call me today at 800-686-2237. I will give you a silver dollar free just for purchasing the book. Call today at 800-686-2237. Again, that's 800-686-2237.
The question is, where should the American people draw their line in the sand?